Hello again everybody, welcome back to the channel. We dive straight in now to episode 5 in the descent. We are tuned to Heathrow Director and we are already into our descent towards Heathrow. We reached upper descent on Unicom 122.8, so we've done it on our own accord, but if we were on a controller's frequency like London Control, then we would have to ask for descent. Just simply your call sign, then request descent.
Skyways 1460, send flight level 150 to be level by Soppit.
Send flight level 150 level Soppit, Skyways 146. So, we've been told now to descend flight level 150 level by Soppit, which is fine, because that means that we're getting to that point there.
Skyways 229, climb flight level 250.
He's told us to not descend below 150, therefore we've set our MCP to that. And we're looking at the banana, and we can see that we should be level just before Soppit, which is fine. It means that we don't have to intervene in any other way. Keep an eye on that though, because if that banana, again depending on the aircraft you're using, if that identification that you're going to hit the altitude after Soppit, then you need to be proactive. You need to use vertical speed mode perhaps, you might need to use a bit of speed brake in flight detent to help the aeroplane slow down and descend to be level by that waypoint that he's told us to be level at.
Information Tango and Airbus, it's Airbus A320-200.
See, he's not had to ask us because we've given him all that information. If you miss a few bits out though, not to worry. As you've just heard, the controller will ask for that missing information from you. And that now shows that we're going to be level just after Soppit. So we're going to go vertical speed mode.
Climb 370, Canadian 1516.
And we're going to increase the rate of descent just slightly because we need to be level at Soppit. So now we've come out of VNAV mode. It's again something else that we need to be really wary of. If you're in Airbus or Boeing, it'll be open descent in Airbus, or even vertical speed mode in Airbus. Here, in any case, we've come out of VNAV mode. So as we pass Soppit, if we want to continue on our VNAV descent, we'll need to re-engage VNAV. Another really important tip is throughout the descent, listen to what all the other aeroplanes are doing around you. It gives you that situational awareness, and then you can understand how you and your aeroplane fit into that big pattern in the sky of other aircraft departing and other aircraft flying into Heathrow on that same runway that we're going to be flying in on. So we might find ourselves number 3, 4 or 5 on approach. We might find ourselves number 1. So understanding how that works and where our... You send flight level 100, Skyways 146. And always listen out for the call sign.
Scandinavian 1516, route direct Somba.
Now we know we're going to be approaching Bovingdon, which has a constraint of 220. Let's just set that ready. The aircraft will descend on idle anyway at this point.
Heathrow broadcast, Heathrow information, uniform now current QNH 9 and 9 7 hectopascals, uniform 9 and 9 7.
Make sure you change that. If that changes, as we've just heard, they've done a broadcast, the QNH has changed. It's vital that we change that and update the aircraft as well.
Scandinavian 1516, monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
That also subsequently means that when we change to local pressure, 10,000 feet is more likely to be 8,000 feet. We've got to think about that. High to low, down you go. Standard pressure, QNH 1013. Local pressure, 997 hectopascals.
Shuttle 9 Bravo, lead
High to low, down you go. Which means we're going to lose altitude by changing to that local pressure. It means we're a lot lower than we realise.
Shuttle 9 Bravo, leave Bovingdon, heading 125.
And it sounds like we can expect vectors again out of Bovingdon.
Skyways 146, leave Bovingdon, heading 125, descend flight level 90.
Leave Bovingdon, heading 125, descend flight level 90, Skyways 146. Make sure you write that down so you've got it recorded somewhere, because we aren't going to add that heading mode in yet. We're going to leave it on LNAV. We can set it ready in this aeroplane, not necessarily in an Airbus, but in the Boeing we can. When we pass Bovingdon, which is there in the middle of our nav display, we can change to heading mode, heading select, and we will fly heading 125 as we leave Bovingdon. So we are not flying LNAV, even though 125 is going to keep us on this magenta line probably.
Shuttle 9 Bravo, descend flight level 80.
80, Shuttle 9 Bravo.
Through 10,000 feet, get that speed down below 250 knots.
Got any speed restrictions in place?
Shuttle 9 Bravo, negative. Lufthansa 236, cleared ILS approach, runway 27 left.
Cleared for ILS approach, runway 27 left, Lufthansa 236.
So here we've gone just tickling 10,000. We brought our speed back below 250 knots, which is great. We'll leave it going until 220 because that's the speed constraint at Bovingdon, max 220 knots. In fact, you know what? We'll go one down. We'll go to 210. That's our flap up speed. 1,000 above, we get the CE chime. There's a lot of management in this aeroplane. It's a lot more hands-on than, say, an Airbus. Always think 2 or 3 steps ahead of the aeroplane. Bovingdon in 5 miles. We're ready to go to heading select mode, that heading of 125.
Hello, climb now, flight level 80.
We'll get rid of the speed brake now as well.
Lufthansa 2 kilo Mike, speed 250 knots.
250 knots, Lufthansa 2 kilo Mike.
And when we change
Shuttle 9 Bravo, speed 220
out of Bovingdon, we'll probably be given a descent to 6,000 feet or something. We'll change to standard pressure.
146, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Skyways 146. That's fine, that's what we're at now. You'll watch that altitude drop massively. Over 1,000 feet we're going to lose. Altitude hold at 9,000. Lights and signs, get the aeroplane configured and set up for your approach, folks. Set up early, gives you less to do.
Lufthansa 236, speed now 180 knots.
And remember, leave Bovingdon heading 125. So we're ready on heading select. Here it comes.
Shuttle 9 Bravo, you have 24 miles for
Turn in,
27 left.
heading select mode.
Altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 907 hectopascals.
Heading 125. So actually with a 50 knot crosswind slash tailwind,
Skyways 146, descend flight level 80.
descend flight level 80, Skyways 146. We're leaving the star. Our heading of 125 is actually a track of 116 degrees. So it's giving us a drift. So he's sending us out slightly wide. But that's fine. This is where we need to understand track versus heading. So he's given us a heading, not a track. So if your nav display says track, that's fine. As long as you're flying the heading that you've been given, 125 degrees, which is where the magenta bug and that little white arrow is, then we're doing it correctly.
Shuttle 9 Bravo, you're descending to 4,000.
Yep, roger, descending to 4,000, just have some FPS issues, 2 seconds.
Seabird 438, turn right, heading 075. Right, 075, Seabird 438.
So you can see on our TCAS, we're probably being fitted in behind this aircraft, which was the shuttle aircraft, the British Airways A320 that departed Edinburgh in front of us. On the initial videos that we did, that taxi out and takeoff tutorial video.
438, resume a navigation
Probably
direct
him that we're
match.
being fitted in behind.
No navigation direct match to this 438.
So there's the ILS. We can't press
Descend
approach
2 kilo Mike, you've left Lambourne too early there. Turn
unless
left, going
we're told that we're
255.
cleared for the ILS. So for now we're flying heading 125. Even if we go past that magenta line for the ILS approach, we can't hit approach unless it tells us we're cleared for the ILS.
Just go to the tower, 118.5, good afternoon.
No, Charlotte, Heathrow Reactor, hello, Charlotte 8 Golf, climbing 3,100 to 6,000.
Shuttle 8 Golf, hello, climb now, flight level 140.
Climb 140, Charlotte 8 Golf.
Bluebird 438, climb flight level 230.
Watching him on TCAS now because he's coming towards us.
Shuttle 9 Bravo, when established on the localised.
Got an
runway
aircraft
27
there as well,
left,
flying in.
bypass.
So the controller's trying to fit all of us all around each other perfectly with a couple of miles separation. That's where that runway minimum occupancy time that we spoke about earlier is really vital. So setting the aircraft up to vacate at a high speed exit.
Skyways 146, 26 miles for 27 left, descend to altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 997 hectopascals.
Descend 4,000 feet, QNH 997 hectopascals, Skyways 146.
Descend to 2 kilo Mike, turn right heading 270 degrees, descend flight level 80, speed 220.
Turn right 270 to flight level
So 4,000 feet, we've been given a QNH.
Not from the 2 kilo
Now look at that PFD, that altitude drop. A good learning point here, whoever that Lufthansa is, they're not listening to the radio. Don't do that on the network. It's a problem for the controller, it's a problem for all the other pilots around you as well. It's likely to potentially, if you really mess stuff up, get you a dot wallop and potentially a ban as well. Always listen to the controller, never go away from keyboard if you're near to descent or in descent or on approach either.
So it's 146, turn right heading 185, speed 180.
Right 185, speed 180, Skyways 146.
Bluebird 438, climb flight level 290.
Climbing 290.
And if you're not sure, a lot of stuff, a lot of speed,
Shuttle 8 Golf, climb flight level 340.
write it down as you go.
Climb flight level
Aviate,
340,
navigate,
Charlotte 8 Golf.
communicate. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. We're going to have to increase flaps here because we're going to go through our minimum clean.
125.
Left 125 from the 2 kilo Mike.
So we can see we're being vectored towards the ILS now. We're being routed in behind this guy probably.
Shuttle 9 Bravo, speed 180 knots.
180 knots.
But we're not cleared for the ILS, even though we might cross this line.
2 kilo Mike, 24 miles for
We will have to
27 left,
continue
descend to
at this
altitude
heading until he tells
5,000
us
feet,
otherwise.
QNH
We're waiting to hear
997 hectopascal.
turn right heading 220, cleared ILS, runway 27 left or something like that. That means we can hit the approach button.
Descending to 5,000 feet and QNH is 997 hectopascals.
Shuttle 9 Bravo established.
So my aim to help the pilots out behind me is to vacate at a high speed exit.
Skyways 146, turn right heading 235, establish localizer runway 27 left.
Right, 235 degrees and establish the localizer runway 27 left, Skyways 146. So that is our clearance to establish with the ILS. So we've now set heading. I'm going to set 175 because our speed's a little up. Which is going to help that speed go down towards 180 a little bit better. We've got the heading selected.
Around 1,000 feet too high now, so descend to altitude 2,000 feet, then further with the glide path.
feet, Shuttle 9 Bravo.
Lufthansa 2 kilo Mike, turn right heading 2.
We're slightly above as well, so we're going to be proactive here. We want to be above, underneath the glide slope. And we're cleared for the ILS. So now we can hit the approach button.
Localizer runway 27 left, descend glide path.
Depending on the aircraft you're in, you might want to use this as well. But I'm just using the diamonds on the primary flight display for now.
Lufthansa 2 kilo Mike, descend to altitude 3,000 feet. You're going to have to expedite that descent now.
We'll go flat 10 at this point. We're 11 miles from final.
Skyways 146, descend 3000, cleared ILS.
Descend 3000, cleared ILS, Skyways 146. Just giving us a further descent.
9 Bravo, speed 160 knots, maintain until 4 DME.
Speed 160 knots, 44 DME, thank you, shuttle 9 Bravo.
Skyways 146, reduce speed 160 knots, maintain until 4 DME.
160 till 4 DME, Skyways 146.
Lufthansa 2 Kilo Mike, speed 180 knots.
So gear down, lap 15.
180, Mike.
We need to do that because of the speed.
9 Bravo, contact Heathrow Tower 118.5.
We're also established now, CMD A and B, and we can see the glide slopes active and the VOR of the ILS is active too. Skyways 146 established, 9 miles.
Skyways 146, roger.
260. And we're going to configure the aeroplane for our final approach.
Lufthansa 2 Kilo Mike, make 1 right hand orbit, so turn right.
So this is key now, folks. We've got that British Airways aircraft 4 miles, 3 miles ahead of us. That's close.
Skyways 144, correction, Skyways 146, contact Heathrow Tower 118.5, bye-bye.
Contact Heathrow Tower 118.5, Skyways 146, bye.
With 017 knots.
So he has to get off quickly, otherwise it's going to be a problem for us. This is where flying at small airports like Edinburgh really helpful if you're new, because you can see there's a lot going on. You've got to be nice and quick on the radio, you've got to know what to do, and you've got to be really precise with this. So I'm expecting him to vacate at a high speed exit, minimum runway occupancy. He's an Airbus, so I expect him to be flying flap 3. He might not do that, I might have to go around.
Bravo, you look like you're veering for 27
That's
right there.
where Barrow, our minimums,
Yeah, a bit of an issue with the ILS and the
is important.
before, give us the wrong bloody heading. Found it now, thank you. Shuttle 9 Bravo.
So he should now go around, really. He's unstable. Missed approach, aiming for the wrong runway. Heathrow Tower, good evening. Skyways 146, established 6 miles, ILS 27 left.
Goes 146, hello to you, continue approach number 2.
Continue approach number 2, Skyways 146. So now he's made a bit of an error. That might compound into us having to go around. Got to be thinking about this. We've got to have our missed approach charts ready. That's really important. We've got to know what to do if we go around.
Bravo, from Alpha 6, clear to take off 27 right, wind 20017 knots.
Runway's coming into view. Let's get our speed down to final approach speed. 160 till 4 DME, remember folks. So now we're approaching 4 miles. We can slow down to our final approach speeds. And look at that crosswind, 41 knots. The runway is over there. So that's our track. But our heading is pointing off that way towards Staines. Crazy. It's going to be interesting. When we turn the autopilot off and I have to hand fly this last bit, it's going to be really interesting. So speed's good, heading's good, missed approach altitude is set, auto brake set, flaps green, 30, gear down, 3 green and locked, speed brake is armed. Engine start mode is continuous. We're going to do a warning recall on short final. We've got a master caution actually now for air conditioning. It's an unscheduled descent, but the aircraft has depressurised normally, so we'll just clear that, that's fine. It's an air conditioning issue. We're going to keep going on autopilot till near minimums. He's still on the runway somewhere. We need him to vacate. He's got 500 feet, 400 feet before we have to go around. He's there now.
Shuttle 9 Bravo. 9 Bravo, we're vacating and runway 2.
Lovely, which means that we've got my throttle. My goodness, this is going to be tricky.
I'll just go to Terminal 5, that's great, thank you. We'll stand by. Skyways 146, clear to land 27 left, wind 20017 knots.
Clear land 27 left, Skyways 146. Wow. This is bumpy.
Approaching minimums.
Little float.
Bravo taxi Alpha, link
We've
56,
kind of got it.
503.
If in doubt, go around. You can always try again.
Shuttle 9 Bravo.
30. 20.
My goodness, this is going to be firm. I'll take that. Fight to be on the centre line, but be smooth, otherwise the aeroplane will have a problem. And get that aileron into wind. November 6 is coming up. Speed's 100 knots at the moment. That's fine. We're going to use the high-speed exit. It's going to help the guy behind. Look at that speed coming off. Reverse is still active. Brakes are still active. 50 knots. Manual brakes.
Second right turn onto Bravo.
Right turn Bravo, Skyways 146. Look how quickly we vacated that runway. Now he's told right turn Bravo, so we'll continue straight ahead over Alpha. We can configure the aeroplane to get rid of all the flaps, get rid of the spoilers. Up here, HOS lights strobe steady. Landing lights, runway turn off lights off, taxi lights on, start the APU, get the ignition start mode selectors back to norm or off/auto. Again, that after landing routine is very dependent on whatever aircraft you are using.
Lufthansa 2 kilo Mike, clear to land 27 left, wind 20017 off.
We'll be told right turn Bravo. We'll just come clear of the junction and we'll just come to a stop.
Skyways 146, taxi Bravo, stand 225.
Bravo, stand 225, Skyways 146, thanks. Now, if you look at the charts for Heathrow in comparison to Edinburgh where we departed, you can see that it is really complex. You've got to understand how the airport works, how vacating and lining up, how Alpha and Bravo works, and all these little intersections and the sort of cul-de-sacs and things. But we've just been told Bravo, stand 225, which is there. Very nice. That works out quite well for us. So we're just going to taxi straight on Bravo, past Terminal 3, Pier 6, to Terminal 2. But always use the charts to taxi. Even if you think you know where it is, you might be given a slightly different route, so scribble down the direction and the stand. And that's it. Park up on stand, shut the aircraft down, and you have completed a VATSIM flight with ATC and all that sort of stuff. I hope you found the videos really useful. A little bit more short and sweet compared to that wider VATSIM tutorial video playlist that I've done previously a long time ago. But I hope it's contained lots of information which you find really useful. Share your thoughts down in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you are new to the channel, landing here perhaps for the first time. And I hope to see you join me in a live stream in the very near future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.